Welcome to the Total Acre Podcast. This show is dedicated to helping you push the boundaries of what's possible on your farm. We bring you expert insights, real-world strategies, and in-depth conversations with the industry's top minds, all aimed to help maximize yields, boost ROI, and stay ahead of the curve. Join us as we explore cutting-edge ag practices, breakthrough technologies, and the people redefining success in farming. And with world champion producers David Hula, Randy Dowdy, and Alex Harrell leading the way, there's no better place to learn, grow, and sharpen your skills. So hit play and let's unlock your farm's potential together.
Hey, this is John Guglielmi with Total Acre, and I'm here with my friend Luke Stamp from DPA Auctions. Welcome.
Nice. Thanks for having me.
We're here at the Commodity Classic in San Antonio. We just finished up our grower clinic for our Total Acre group earlier this week, and Luke and his team were there and represented themselves well. And we're just really excited about this partnership that Total Acre and DPA has. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about DPA Auctions and what you guys do and how you got involved with this, because I know you're a farmer too.
Yep.
So give us an overview.
Yeah, so like John said, my name's Luke Stamp. I'm the Vice President of Sales at DPA Auction, formerly Del Peterson Auction Associates. We're located in eastern Nebraska, just outside of Omaha. Been in the business a long time. Dell started this business in 1972, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's in that area. About 52 years of experience. I've been with DPA a little over a year and a half, almost 2 years now. And part of my role is searching out good partnerships that are like-minded companies, like-minded groups that have the same values as us. You know, we're a family-owned company. We've chose to stay family-owned. Steven, Dell's son, now runs our company, and his son, Brandon, is our CEO. So family-owned company. And it really drove us to figure out what we want to be. Do we want to be an auction company? Do we want to provide more value to our customers? And that led our search to Total Acre. You know, I have some familiarity with it as a farmer, fourth generation farmer in Western Iowa, so I have some experience with it. But once we got on your website, talked with you, and then went to your meeting this week, which was phenomenal. You know, the one thing that stood out to us, John, was the high-level growers that you guys bring in. You know, they aren't your run-of-the-mill growers, all different sizes of operation, but they all have one mindset, and it's how do they get the most out of their operation. So that's what we want to be a part of, and that's why we are hitching our wagon to Total Acre and trying to figure out how we can bring value beyond just a transactional sale of equipment.
Great. And I was going to say, because you're talking about DPA auctions, I wanted to make sure we knew it was equipment, not land, but just equipment, used market, and you know, good used market.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to give a little high-level overview of our business, we are a online auction company. So we went online in 2011, I believe, one of the first ones to do it, if not the first. COVID pushed a majority of our other competitors to fully online. So we do sales every 2 weeks. With volumes now, maybe we look at going every week, but right now every 2 weeks. And so we cut our teeth in the fertilizer industry. When Dell started, it was a fertilizer industry market. Then we branched out into more of an overall ag business. And then we do construction, transportation, and we do everything. And one thing that's unique to us is we'll do anything from one item to a whole entire, you know, fleet of equipment. It doesn't really matter. We want to be able to play with every single person and every single need.
Now, when we were at the grower clinic, y'all kind of unveiled some new tools that are available using, of course, this big buzzword, artificial intelligence and machine learning. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we really have two areas that we're trying to work in. And so along with being an auction company, we're now transitioning into a software company. And the reason for that is we wanted to provide more value, again, to groups like yourself and to our customers, to our buyers and sellers. And so what these tools are we have what we call Ag IQ, which is just your run-of-the-mill. We do appraisals, one-off pieces. So if you call me and want to know, hey, what is my equipment worth? And what I tell everybody, and from Western Iowa, I like to be simple. It's the Kelly Blue Book for equipment.
Yeah.
So it's really easy and really simple. And how we come up with that is we are scraping the internet for actual sales of equipment. Today, minus X amount of days, and we're trying to find as many actual sales of that piece of equipment to give you a real value. And it's been a little bit of a slower process. because we want to get it right.
Yeah.
And so now here in Q1, we were able to unveil what that looks like to some of your members and to another group that we partner with, and it's been very positive. The main next one is called Asset Manager, and that you can do a whole lineup. So a business, an operation, a co-op can enroll their entire fleet of equipment assets, and it's going to track real-time values for all those pieces of equipment. It's going to give you an operational level, and it's going to give you basically piece by piece. And what makes that a little bit unique is we can do depreciation schedules, we can add in loan schedules, and then we can also add in forecasting and look in where should you sell that, when should you sell that. You know, we're such a transactional business, but we don't want to take your piece of equipment and sell it today if we know 3 months down the road it's likely to sell better.
Right.
And we've got some great feedback from a lot of your members on how we can adjust that to help them make better decisions on their operation. And there's a lot of different ways you can utilize that information to benefit your operation, whether it's negotiating with the dealership or trying to figure out a transition plan to the next generation. And we're having a tax implication feature in there as well. So when you sell a piece of equipment, it'll tell you what your tax implications are. So it's very powerful. The hard thing to do is not having too much information in there.
Right, yeah.
You want it simple to use, but also powerful enough to use. And we really want to do that and provide value to people like yourself, because then if we get business on the sale, that's fine. That's the ultimate goal. We're an auction company, but we want to provide extra value and work with high-level operations that are quite honestly going to be around for a long time. You know, we build our business on retention. We like return buyers, return sellers. We want a good experience, and that's part of the good experience.
Oh, that's great. That was a wonderful overview. And you know, when you guys were here at the Grower Clinic earlier this week, we did a soft launch of our relationship late last year, and I think pretty darn close after we put something out on Instagram.
Yep.
You guys got a couple listings.
Absolutely,
from us.
absolutely. Yeah. So right when we did the announcement last year or a couple of months ago, we got several listings. And then, as you know, we were just talking about at the show, we were very fortunate to get on stage and give a brief overview of our company, just like we're doing now. And we had a QR code with a form that we have just for your members and what that membership looks like and the discounts that we pass along to your members. It was crazy. You know, we had the QR code up on the stage, and before we got off of stage, we had 4 or 5 listings from your members. And we also had a live auction that day. And I know if you go on and look at our logins at that live auction, it peaked about that time when we were on stage. It went whoop. And then it was great. You know, we had lunch afterwards, and we walked around and saw several people at their table scrolling through our website. So it's been beneficial for us. You know, we don't want to play where our competitors are at. We want to go where they're not, and this is just the way that we want to go. You know, we want to be more of a holistic service company that also provides an auction service. So, and the nice thing about being a family-owned company, we can keep our fees down. You know, there's not a lot of me running around. We can still do a really good job without having all that overhead, which allows us to partner with people like yourselves and give them really good value for their dollar.
Great. Well, you know, and we were continuing the program while that QR code was up there.
Yep.
Now I know while everybody was looking down while I was trying to make the next introduction of whoever was going to come up. So,
you know, it was really funny. We came off the stage and one of your other new partners, Uncommon Farms, was in the back, and he said he wished he had his phone out to video the group, because as soon as we flashed that up there,
all the heads went
down. Yes, it was great. Yeah, and you know, some of the feedback from the early adopters that sold with us right away have been very positive. You know, so that's good. You know, we want them to have a good experience, and equipment doesn't always sell, but they've had a good experience, and we've been able to work with them moving forward. And then again, funneling some of that back to you guys to allow you to utilize that money to grow your actual organization is ultimately the goal for everybody. You know, we want a win-win situation.
Well, and we had some great conversations as we were putting this partnership together, and the thing we kept coming back to was culture.
Yep.
You know, the family culture and us really being a community
Yep.
Of like a family,
Yep.
and where our folks don't see each other as competitors but as colleagues.
Yep.
And we felt that same vibe between you guys and then also you mentioned Uncommon Farms.
Absolutely.
With those guys as well. So so I know, you know, we've spent a lot of time together over the last week at different meetings, and I feel like this guy's almost like a brother, because I feel like we probably share some blood relation somewhere in the process.
Got to.
But you know, business is about enjoying the people that you're dealing with and sharing the same values.
Yes.
And we believe at Total Acre that DPA has those shared values.
Yes, I agree 100%. You know, and like I mentioned, it went from our owner Dell to his son Steven, and the other son Kurt works in our business, and then Steven's got 3 daughters, 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter that work with us now. So it's really refreshing. I come from a corporate company, which I still love dearly. It's a whole different dynamic when you work for a family company, you know, and then again, how it aligns with you guys and Uncommon Farms and the roadshow we've all been on together. I feel like now I can pick up the phone and call anyone in that group, have a very honest conversation, and I think we're all going to benefit from it moving forward. So I'm really excited to see how this year goes and how it all evolves. And I was talking, probably a little off the cuff, talking with my wife this morning, and she's like, how's it been? Are you wore out? And I go, I'm wore out, but thank goodness there's good people, because it makes it a lot better.
It does.
And it's funny, I see a lot of the same people as we go. You know, I've seen some people that are Uncommon members, that are Total Acre members that are now here. So it's nice to just network and follow and see them as they go throughout the winter.
It's been fun watching some of the Total Acre members come walking down, because I'll say, I see my people, I see my people. And that's what we want you guys to feel like, that Total Acre is part of your people.
Yep. No, it's been great so far. Again, excited to see how this evolves, and I think it's going to benefit everybody.
Good.
Yep.
Well, Luke, we really appreciate, first of all, the partnership that we got with you guys, the friendship that we have forged over the last several months, and looking forward to doing some great business with you guys. And again, Total Acre has a relationship with Uncommon Farms. We will be putting their link up on YMS here shortly, so that you can have a shortcut into the auction and into the portal there. And we look forward to rolling that out, and so be looking for that information soon. If you're not a Total Acre member, still check these guys out. They bring some great value and some great tools to the auction business.
Absolutely, yeah. Feel free to reach out anytime.
All right, Luke, thanks, buddy.
Appreciate the time.
All right, take care.
Well, that's a wrap on this episode of the Total Acre Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe on Spotify, YouTube to stay up to date. Got a topic you want to cover? Let us know. And until next time, keep pushing your operation forward. We'll see you next time on the Total Acre Podcast.